Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. The time is now 6:02, and I would like to call this March 27, 2023 meeting of the Board of Education of ECPPS to order. Roll call vote, please. I'm sorry.
Chair.
I'm sorry. Let's do a Pledge of Allegiance first. Pledge allegiance, please. Let's stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right, is that better? Can you hear me now? Is that better? I need to go up some more. Okay. Now, Ms. Pam Parker, we ask for a roll call vote, please.
Chair Spence.
Here.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Present.
Angela Cobb.
Here.
Tommy Old.
Present.
Pam Pereza.
Here.
Rodney Walton.
Here.
Sharon Warden.
Present.
Holly Weiss.
Here.
And Gracie Wooten.
Here.
I now call on Dr. Sheila Williams to give us the ethics awareness statement.
Welcome to the March 27th, 2023 meeting of the Elizabeth City Pasquotank Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it's your responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with the chapter of 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is your duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage your personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board today? Let the record reflect that there are no conflicts exist.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to call for an approval of the agenda. A motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for March 27th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
So we have a motion by Ms. Angela Cobb and a second by Dr. Sheila Williams to approve the minutes. And now a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Yes.
Angela Cobb.
Yes.
Tommy Old.
Yes.
Pam Pereza.
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
And Sharon Warden.
Yes.
So moved. Now I'd like to call on Dr. Parker to highlight our recognitions for Northeastern High School and River Road Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to say welcome this evening to all of our families and students that have come out. We are very excited to recognize our fine staff and students from River Road Middle School and also right here from Northeastern. I also want to say thank you to Ms. Fife and the Northeastern family for hosting us tonight for the board meeting. And we're very excited to see all of our fine young people here tonight. So we'll begin by asking Dr. Bond to come forward with River Road Middle School recognitions. And as Dr. Bond comes forward, we will have the students come forward to the podium and receive their recognition. We would like to take a photograph with each of our students and staff, and we're going to ask that once you receive your recognition from Dr. Bond, if you'd walk over to behind the table over here, and we'd like to take your photograph there. Dr. Bond, thank you.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right, I want to recognize our students first. I have a very loud voice, so I'm not used to having to need this. We took our iReady testing a couple of months ago, And one of the great things about that iReady testing was that this was one of the first times that I believe our students really sat down and tried to show us what they could do. We were very proud of every last one of our students. We gave growth scores for our students and also highest ELA and math for those test scores. So these are those students, so there's 3 per grade level. In the 6th grade, I have Brian Winslow with a 79% growth from 1 and 2 tests. Anana Burton with the highest math score of 542. Sydney Dunbar with the highest ELA of 657. I have 7th grade, Wadi Martinez Acevedo, 53% growth. Ethan Britt, 554, highest math score, 7th grade. And Miss Denaya Wrighton, who scored as a 7th grader on the 8th grade level with a 682. We want, yeah. 8th grade, very, very, very proud of this young man, Giante Ralph, with the highest growth score, 51%. Also, Mr. Vincent Waborg, highest math score with 603. I knew I had seen them in here. Y'all just didn't want to walk down here. Sydney Dunbar, no wait. Oliver Sproul with the highest ELA score of 686. All right, for my teachers, I want to say that I inherited many things when I came to River Road in August of 2021 from Arizona. This was different from anything that I had experienced with previously. The thing that I'm most grateful for is the staff that I inherited. One thing is for certain, Mr. Farmville left me some of the strongest teachers I've ever had the pleasure of being able to work with. It was very evident very early on that some of my strongest teachers were the backbone of each of my hallways. The teachers that I've come to rely on that police their individual hallways, that teach their content with excellence and deliver discipline very thoroughly. I do not know if everyone here tonight knows what it takes to teach at a middle school. But I guarantee you that these lovely ladies that I'm getting ready to call do exactly what it takes every day to teach at a middle school. I recognize you tonight because you are the backbone of each hallway, because you never tell me no, because you may roll your eyes and say, "Come on, boss lady," but you still do it. I recognize you because you are who you are, and it means the world to me and our kids. Sixth grade, Sandra Lewis, which is our current Teacher of the Year for 22-23. And Miss Danita Whitfield, who is our Social Studies sixth grade. Miss Alicia Palmer, seventh grade, math. Math, sit team, mentor, just about everything. Miss Diane Melton, our ELA, seventh grade. Eighth grade, Miss Diane Stevens, who is also my Teacher of the Year for next year, 2023-2024. And Miss Shawana Lilly, eighth grade science. Don't go nowhere yet. I also want to say to my two Teachers of the Year right here, Miss Sandra Lewis and Miss Diane Stevens, could y'all stand right here together? Just right here. Oh, I'm definitely saying yeah. So last year, I asked Miss Melton to give me a year before she retired on me. So she gave me my year, and I told her, I promised her I'd make it better and that things would be different. Did I come through on my promise, Miss Melton? So before everybody here, I also want to tell you two that I need another year. No pressure, though. I did. Come on, take your picture.
Good evening, Chair Spence, Board of Education members, district and school colleagues, students, families, and visitors. Welcome to Northeastern High School. Tonight we recognize academic excellence, some of our winter athletes and fall athletes from this academic school year. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you tonight a young man who will be attending the North Carolina Governor's School for Northeastern High School. Mr. James Hornthal, would you please come forward? And I don't know about you all, but it's been a long time since I've heard anybody say, my favorite teacher is my math teacher. So this year we would like to recognize the 2022-23 Northeastern Teacher of the Year was Erin Gray. See what I mean? Our girls' tennis team, are there members of the girls' tennis team here tonight? No, okay. So I'll just read their names for you. NCC All-Conference Regional Qualifier, State Qualifier was Jessica Carter. Jada Simpson was the NCC All-Conference Regional and State Qualifier, as was Mary Ellen Foreman. Please give them a round of applause. Gabby Johnson, are you here tonight? Nope, okay, so Gabby Johnson was qualified. She's here, oh, yay, come on forward. Give her a hand as she comes down. Ms. Johnson qualified for regionals in the women's 50 freestyle representing Northeastern High School. Coach Cherry. Would the girls' basketball team also come forward at this time? The whole team. So just to let you know, Coach Cherry was the district as well as the NCC Coach of the Year this year. And then we also had a number of students who gained recognition separately. So for, in addition to the NCC Conference champions, they were the conference tournament champions and regional runner-up this year. So please give them a round of applause. And then Anaya Rainey was voted All-District First Team. And Jasmine Felton was District Player of the Year, NCC Player of the Year for Northeastern High School, and our conference. Congratulations to Jasmine. You got your JV here? You got your JV here?
I do. What we got for JV?
Their conference championship.
Let's do the varsity.
Varsity? Okay. So here's varsity. Here's all the varsity. Yeah, okay. You want and then do JV. Okay. Here.
Okay, I'm here to read off for the basketball, in Coach Nixon's absence. For the varsity basketball Herald Classic runner-up, high school exceeding excellence. Tyel Saunders, first team. Varsity All District, second team, Tyel Saunders. Varsity Basketball, NCC, second team, Savion Saunders. Would the whole varsity basketball team come up? This team was runner-up in Hereford County during the holiday tournament, and we want to give them recognition. Please give them a hand, please. Okay, I'm back again. I was the JV basketball coach, and guys, come on down. These guys work extremely hard in the classroom, on the basketball court, and we are so privileged to get this recognition tonight from the board, and I really appreciate it. The players appreciate it. They were the 2022-23 JV Basketball NCC Conference Champions. Give them a hand, please.
Could I have the wrestlers in the house? Come on down.
Good evening, everyone. The following wrestlers both were regional champions this past season, as well as state qualifiers, Eric Fazikis and Devontae Barrington. Corey Fazikis He was an NC, the Northeastern Coastal Conference champion at the 132-pound weight class, as well as the Northeastern Coastal Conference Wrestler of the Year, as well as the 2A East 132-pound regional champion, and he was the 132-pound 2A state runner-up.
Yeah.
Call up the football team. Yeah, call them all up. And then just, instead of giving everybody their separate ones, give it to them like what you can call them out.
Would the football team come down, please? Okay, this football team right here worked extremely hard this year. They made history. This is the 10th time they won the conference championship in a row. So this 10 years straight, a decade. And it's a lot of work that goes in that people don't see. They out after school every day in the summertime. So right now I'm gonna announce the all conference winners. Morel Dance, Jamel Stallings, Damari Wibby, Shamir Williams, Randall Ferguson, Alonzo Biddle, Jalen Melson, Tysell Spencer, Tyel Saunders, Shamar Sutton, Kamani Bennett, Shamar Sutton again, Player of the Year, and Cam Hall. Thank you.
If you'll get them these after the fact.
Yeah, because I'll just read it off of.
Yeah. Wait till later. You got girls and
Yep. See that one over there?
All right, good evening. My name is Coach Johnson. I'm the indoor boys and girls head track coach. We're going to recognize our conference champions and also our state qualifiers for the indoor girls indoor track team. Not with us today, who was traveling with the soccer team, is Gabby McMillan. She was a Northeastern Coastal Conference long and triple jump champion. We have Amani Saunders. She was the NC champion in the 55-meter hurdles. Amani also was a state qualifier in the 55-meter hurdles. We also had Shania Harris, who was also a state qualifier in the 55-meter hurdles. We also have Azaria Gallup, who qualified for the 55-meter dash and placed 7th, earning all-state honors in the 55-meter hurdles. A round of applause for our ladies. Now for our boys indoor track team, this season we had the first ever Northeastern Coastal Conference Championship hosted in Hampton, Virginia, at the BOE Sports Complex. And our Eagles will go down in history as the first ever Northeastern Coastal Conference champions. So can I get all the boys indoor track athletes to come up, please? Some of the accolades for this season: DeJuan Bell was the NCC Male Athlete of the Year. During the conference championship, DeJuan won the 500-meter dash, the 300-meter dash, and the triple jump, and was runner-up in the 55-meter dash. All right. Myself was named Coach of the Year. But I can only give credit to my assistant coaches, who spend just as much time with our athletes as I do, Tedrick Shannon and Cedric Shannon. So that award also goes for them. Shamar Sutton was the 55-meter dash champion. Quavion Martin was the 55-meter hurdle, high jump, and long jump champion. The conference champion in the 4x2 relay was also Shamar Sutton. Dwayne Adolph, Tajay Simpson, Quavion Martin were the NCC champs. One individual I'm going to save to last so we go through all the accolades, because I think they earn the most accolades for the season. Majority of our team qualified for the state championship this year. The boys indoor track team finished 6th overall out of about 35 teams, which was a great opportunity. The Eagles were led by junior Peyton Kimball, who was the 1A, 2A state champion in shot put. Also junior set the state record in the shot put at the state meet. Later on in the season, Junior had a chance to qualify to go to Nike Indoor Nationals, in which he placed 3rd and earned All-American status, and then extended his state record in the shot put to 59 feet, 7 inches. So Junior is also an All-American for this season. Not only is Junior a great athlete, he's also a great student. He carries a 4.0 GPA, and he has many colleges now that are suiting him to come to them next year after he graduates. All right. At the state 1A, 2A meet, Quavion Martin placed 4th in the 55-meter hurdles, breaking the school record with a time of 7.95 seconds. DeJuan Bell placed 4th in the 500 dash, also medaled. DeJuan also placed 7th in the 300-meter dash. Our boys 4x2 relay team, Tajay Simpson, Shamar Sutton, Amari Mercer, and Quavion Martin placed 5th overall. Derek Ravel and Amari Mercer also competed in the 55-meter hurdles. And that is a quick recap of our season. Give a round of applause for the indoor track team.
Ms. Faison and the cheerleaders. So what do I need to do? Just recognize them? Okay.
Yeah, just recognize your name.
All right, good evening, excuse me. I am Coach Fatima Face. I'm the head coach here at Northeastern. Our girls have done extremely well this season, starting in July at camp. This year at camp, we had 5 girls make All-American. And so those girls, they were Mayana Dowell, Sanaya Barnes, India Cradle, Imani Ann Hicks, and Janiyah Gatling. Okay, and so they all were selected at camp. Also this year in our with our comp season, in November, we placed first at the Beast of the East Championship in Greenville, North Carolina, as well as Grand Champion. We also were received first place and grand champion as well at the Perquimans Cheer Invitational this year. At the NCHSAA State Championship, our girls placed second place, and we were extremely proud of them. The Newborn Live, they were also first place, and then also at the North Carolina Cheer Coaches Association, they placed state championship, they placed second as well. So we're extremely proud of their accomplishments this year. Good job.
Thank you all for helping us to recognize these great student athletes, our scholars, and our Teacher of the Year. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending. Momentarily, we'll be starting our open session again. So if you could transition into the lobby, please. Thank you. So thank you to those who stayed. Thank you for your dedication to ECPPS. We're now going to call on Dr. Parker for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are going to, if it be okay, can we go to the highlights now? Okay, so we'd like to start out with Dr. Bond. And if Dr. Bond, if you'd come forward and introduce the instructional highlight video, then we'll be ready to play that. And then as soon as we have the video for Dr. Bond in River Road Middle School, love to have any questions or comments from the board. And then following that, we'll introduce Ms. Fife to come set us up for the video for Northeastern. So Dr. Bond, anything you'd like to say to introduce the video, and then we'll play the highlight video.
So this video is just a couple of the things that we're proud of at River Road. We're doing some new things this year, some new programs, and this video kind of highlights a couple of those things. And we're really proud of where the kids are right now. I am Dr. Vaughn. I am the principal at River Road. Today, what you're going to see is some of the things, a few of the things that we are really proud of. We're really proud of what our kids are doing in the classroom, how they are handling the curriculum, and how they're having fun with the curriculum. And that's what you're going to see today.
My name is Sharneen Lewis, and I am the teacher for the self-contained classroom here at River Road Middle School. For this year, our class is working on our project for the Autism Awareness Month, which is next month, April. So we are doing a lot of artwork showing that they have different abilities, but they can. What we do, we use the NC Extend core, and we try to pull stuff from the curriculum and we broaden it so that students have a better understanding of the content and that they can use it in life experience every day. We're working on our projects such as blow painting. We are doing shapes, cutting and making stuff with shapes. We are also using cereal boxes to make cereal monsters. We are doing a range of stuff, a lot of stuff, and there is more to do. Art is an excellent way for them to express how they're feeling, for them to just tell you, to communicate, because some of the kids, they are nonverbal, and it's an excellent way to know that they can do a lot of stuff that we don't know that they can do. So art is a very expressive way for them to express themselves and to share that they know a lot of stuff. And in the end, it's always beautiful, it's creative.
I am Ms. Dudley. I teach 6th grade math at River Road Middle School, and we are currently learning expressions with exponents. And so we're reviewing today what we learned yesterday. We're doing a scavenger hunt. It's a fun way for us to reinforce what we learned yesterday. And the scavenger hunt gets them up and moving. It's actually a self-checking exercise, so they can automatically know if they are doing their work correctly, because the answer for the question that they're doing, they'll find it on another sheet around the room. I find that these self-checking exercises help them and give them a little bit more confidence than they had at the beginning of the year.
I'm learning the order to solve expression and exponents. Through that scavenger hunt, even though you may not like math, that scavenger hunt can make it a lot more fun and entertaining.
So at this ending of this school year, we are 40 days out. We're exactly 40 days today in front of EOGs, and we are looking to do the very best that we can. We want proficiency, we want growth. And these kids have been giving us that, and we are very proud of where they are now and where they have come from. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Hello again. This evening we're highlighting CTE. While we're striving for excellence in every area, we wanted to pick 3 CTE areas, the Adobe Printmaker suite, and then agriculture, and what is the third? I can't remember right now. Wow. Project Lead the Way, thank you, engineering. I was getting those confused. Anyway, one of the things that we find that with our CTE is that they all fit together really well. They work separately, but then they also fit together and do a lot of things together. So that's, I think, what you'll see some of in this video.
Hi, I'm Amy Fife, and I am the principal here at Northeastern High School. We are excited about the CTE programs, the Adobe classes, the engineering classes, and the agricultural classes.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Simons, and I teach Adobe Academy at Northeastern High School. In the Adobe Academy, we focus on the programs of Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and new next year, Premiere Pro. In those classes, the kids learn the basics of drawing digitally and create projects like the one behind me. Right now, we're getting ready to switch over to Photoshop, and in Photoshop, they're going to learn photo editing. We do flyers, posters, brochures, signs, artwork, and useful projects. We have a student whose brother just opened a brand new business, and so he's going to be making buttons and stickers for his brother's business. This year we're working with the FFA program, and we've done several things for them. We've done teaching standards posters. We're also making spring flower sales posters.
One of the things that we really love about our Ag Ed program is that we have teachers and students who are interested in all facets of agricultural education, agribusiness, that kind of thing.
These are my potatoes that I've been growing for a few weeks that were from a past NC State potato trial. And I've been growing these with a friend, and they're already sprouting so much. We're going to be growing them into French fries eventually, cutting them up, and hopefully eating them.
In the spring, which we are approaching, they will be putting out vegetables and flowers and all kinds of things like that. And so they found some application with the Adobe Printmaker and kind of using 2 different areas and sometimes more in our CTE programming that help with promoting their sales. And I think that is a particularly unique thing about CTE is that they use so many different applications in the various courses in business, in the health sciences. All of those different areas have application within the CTE program and within the school and then in life in general.
Right now, our Principles of Engineering class is using Vex Robotics, in which they learn how to program all the inner workings of sensors for robotics. In our Introduction to Engineering Design class, our kids are using 3D modeling software in which they're able to design and then 3D print their ideas and give a concrete idea from their design process. It's good to get our students to get a chance to see some of the high-tech careers and opportunities they have out here. So by them being introduced to robotics, 3D modeling and design, they're able to actually compete in our new workforce in which everybody's using more and more STEM technologies and CNC printers and so forth.
I like the modeling process and the steps you have to take. It's a lot of trial and error. And I like when you finish that you know you finished the right way and you get your final product. That's very fun to me, knowing that I could help someone or something to help succeed in life or make it through. He's really taught me to always put my heart into it, and he's pushed me a lot because when I first got here I was being very lazy, but he saw my talent and I just really thank him because he pushed me to always want to do better and do it the right way and get it done.
I'm really proud of everything that's going on here at Northeastern High School. I am so pleased to be a part of it again, and we are showcasing CTE tonight just so you'll know some of the great programs that we have here.
we have any questions or comments from the board, we'll take them at this time.
Have questions?
Thank you, Ms. Fife. Appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the recognition and instructional highlights for tonight.
Thank you so much. And now the superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things I want to again thank Northeastern for hosting us and for the wonderful young people and staff that we had come out tonight. I always love board meetings are able to have our young people come up, and we have some young people that really have done some amazing things, both academically and athletically, and I'm very proud of them. So to our principals that were here tonight and our coaches and our staff, thank you for all the work that you do on a daily basis to make evenings like this be one where we can fill bleachers full of parents and families to recognize our great young people here. Just want to remind everybody that we have 31 instructional days left until we begin final exams, and so I want to encourage everybody to remain focused and for all of our students to realize that these are very important 31 days that we have in our semester, so we want to encourage everybody to take full advantage of all of that's going on. I want to say congratulations to our newly elected Teachers of the Year, and so our schools have been in their election process to choose their Teacher of the Year at each school level for the 2023 school year. We're going to be announcing those teachers formally. You may have seen on many school Facebook pages that they've been recognizing those teachers as well. But I want to thank our current Teachers of the Year, and as we begin to prepare to recognize our 22-23 Teachers of the Year, I want to congratulate them for being elected. And also just want to remind the public and all of our families that the week of May 8th is National Teacher Appreciation Week. And so I would encourage everybody to show some love to our teachers. And if that's nothing else, of just hugging a teacher's neck or sending a thoughtful card. And one of the things I love to do on the week of May 8th is to send one of my former teachers a little note in the mail. And that's a lady named Ms. Phyllis Toothman, who was a high school teacher that was just an amazing person. So I'd encourage you not only to recognize and to be thoughtful to our teachers here in ECPPS, but maybe think back on a teacher that impacted you and share an encouraging word or something during the week of May 8th. I would also say that April 7th is a teacher work day. There will be no students reporting for school on that day, and that's a Friday. And then the next week is the most infamous and long-awaited week of the calendar year, which is spring break. So we want to encourage all of our staff and students to enjoy that time and then to come back energized to do that last push to get to the end of the semester. We do have with us here this afternoon Miss Jennifer Lee. We're going to be presenting to the board the early college calendar proposal for the upcoming year. But I also wanted to say that we are taking enrollment and applications right now for our early college for the 2022-23, 23-24 school year. I'm a year behind on my dates right here. But one of the things that I'm excited about with early college, it is a school of choice that we have here in Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. And for any rising ninth grader or high school student that might be interested in learning more about that program, you can visit our website and, of course, reach out to Ms. Lee and her staff, and they'd be glad to tell you about the programs and the unique opportunities that we have available at the early college, and registration is open right now for next school year. And the final thing I would just share with, and as a reminder for everybody, engaged right now in some of our strategic planning work, and I made a presentation to the board several board meetings ago about our process from November of 2022 until June of this year that will culminate in a new strategic plan for the district, which will be a vision and a mission for us over the next 5 years and beyond as we look to that work. We have a lot of work yet to do in that, but I am very encouraged because a lot of those pieces in that work are starting to come together. One of the things that we're engaged right now is having some really deep conversations with students about what they want to be true for their lives. One of the questions that's guiding our work in this is just simply asking people, what are your hopes and dreams for your kid? if you're a student, what are your hopes and dreams? And what would you like to see differently about school? And those are really powerful moments that we're having. Holly and Gracie have been engaged in some of that work as well. And we're in the process of inviting some of our lead teachers, members of our emerging leaders cohort, our school leaders, our district staff, members of the Board of Education to join us on what we're calling inspiration visits, where we're taking some trips to some of the highest performing innovative schools in our region and the state. And we've had a couple teams go out on some inspiration visits already and have just come back just so energized and inspired to think differently about some things. And so part of that's going to culminate in the summer, and we're going to take all of these experiences and conversations and data points, and we're just going to think really deeply about what we want to be true for our schools. We look toward our future and move ahead. So more updates we'll definitely share with the board as we continue in this process, but I'm very encouraged about where we are now and very inspired about the work that we've got going on. So I want to thank all of our hardworking staff for the countless hours they're putting into the work that's going on right now. I'm very grateful for the progress we're making in a lot of areas. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks so much, Dr. Parker. We are now at the place for the student board members report, and I saw a big smile on Gracie and Holly's face when you mentioned 31 days left. They looked at each other and almost winked at each other look. So thank you so much, ladies, for what y'all do. So now we'll start with the report. We'll start with you, Gracie.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, that look was also kind of terrifying and excitement at the same time, but I hope everyone has had a good couple of weeks. Basically, now that you already restated that, we are in the home stretch of this school year. And just a couple days until spring break, thank goodness. I need it very, very much. So recently, I have just been doing a lot of reflecting on this last school year. Most areas are kind of bittersweet, but I'm excited for the new chapter in my life. This year has just been great nonetheless. I mean, there have definitely been challenges and areas where I didn't have fun, but I have to just think about the victories that I've overcome and the years of high school that I've enjoyed and the many opportunities that I've just been given and blessed with. Along with working with the student panel at Northeastern, I can just tell, I stated this last time, that Northeastern is going to be left in great hands. And I'm so happy that there are students that want to step up to the plate and be leaders for this school and just advance it in any ways possible that they can think of. I just know that Northeastern has and will accomplish many things in the school years to come. And I've enjoyed expanding my knowledge and learning what kind of leader it takes to help expand a school like ECPPS. And I'm also just excited to see what the future holds for Northeastern. But seeing all of these students from River Road, River Road was my middle school, so I'm so happy to see them tonight and some of my old teachers. But I'm just incredibly proud of all the athletes and student athletes and how hard they have worked and how much they have succeeded in their seasons. And I just hope that they'll remain strong and resilient in the next stretch of school and their sports seasons. Also, I saw my favorite math teacher in here tonight, and I was like, okay, I know there were some kids that went to a math competition at ECSU, so she told me there was about 20 or 30 of them that went. I'm not sure that they placed anything, but that was a big competition with a lot of kids, so just them stepping out there, and math is hard for me, so any kid that wants to step out of their comfort zone and do a math competition, kudos to you. But she told me that they took some tests and other math assessments, so if they're brave enough to step out there and do that, that's good enough for them. They deserve an announcement. But that's all I have tonight, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Holly?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, once again. First, I would like to congratulate everyone that was honored here tonight. As we're getting closer to the end of the school year, I feel like every month has gotten busier and busier. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what happened in March. Specifically this past week, on Wednesday, March 22nd, the PCHS Symphonic Band earned the rating of Superior at the 2023 NC Bandmasters Music Performance at Junction. And this is the highest possible rating that a band can receive. So this is just one of the major accomplishments that I would like to mention tonight. Also, I would like to mention that this is the first time that the band has gotten this since 2014. So this is a huge step. Next, I would also like to mention this past week, Friday, March 24th and Saturday, March 25th, 9 PCHS band students participated in the 2023 Albemarle Band Clinic at First Light High School. It was a really fun time that we got to collaborate with other band students in the area and have a really big honor band. This was also the first time the honor band has met since 2019. I would also like to mention that our PCHS DECA chapter has one student who is Amarion Armstrong attending the International DECA competition, which is in April in Orlando. So this is a really big moment for him, and we all would like to send our support. Also, I would like to mention that Northeastern High School has established a DECA chapter with NC DECA. So within the next year, we will collaborate with them, trying to get their chapter going and just have 2 big successful chapters in the school district. We are also currently working with ECMS's chapter, or getting them to establish a chapter through the NC DECA system so that students are fed into the high school chapter when they go to high school. And then lastly, I would like to say that this is the last week that students' artwork can be viewed at the Arts of the Albemarle. So this is all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, ladies, so much for keeping us extra connected to both of the high schools. We appreciate you so much, and for keeping your schools connected to us as well. Now I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes for February the 27th, 2023, and March 20th, 2023.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from February 27th, 2023, and March 20th, 2023.
Second.
So I have a motion by Ms. Pam Perez, a second by Mr. Rodney Walton to accept the minutes from February 27, 2023 and March 20th, 2023. Is there any discussion?
I do have a correction for the March 20th. I was present. I was just in the hall.
Okay,
Yes, I was present for the opening session.
good. So Ms. Pam, noted. Thank you. The correction has been noted. Now we'd like to call for a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Sheila Williams,
Yes.
Angela Cobb,
Yes.
Tommy Old,
Yes.
Pam Pereza,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
and Sharon Warden.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Motion carries. Now it is the public comment section, and on the sign-up sheet, I only have one name, and it's Mr. Anthony Sawyer. He's representing himself, and the subject is personnel. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer.
I had requested extra 3 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be granted or not, but you don't know until you ask.
Unfortunately, no,
Due
sir.
to the importance of tonight? Did I give it-
Unfortunately, no, sir.
Sir?
That's unfortunately, no, sir. It's still
Okay.
just 3 minutes.
All right, well, I guess you all have received the letters that I sent every one of you. Basically, to sum it up real quick, once I got my expungement done, which was a very hard, long process, basically I was told from the top to the bottom that once I got my record expunged that I was in business. Well, I've been getting a runaround ever since. So because of that, having dismissed me from the team, even though that wasn't illegal, a lot of things that have happened in the last 25 months are, including my civil rights being violated, state and federal laws have been occurring over and over again during this time. So I, along with my legal team, have filed a complaint, or going to file a complaint for violation of civil rights with the U.S. District Court in Greenville, North Carolina. I will file this the week of Easter break if I'm not reinstated by next Thursday. I'm gonna get a superintendent or this board, either one, reinstate me by next Thursday or one day during spring break. I will file this. Everything's ready. All I have to do is sign and date it in front of the local court in Greenville. It would be a jury trial. It would be held here in Elizabeth City. I don't think we want to go this far. I personally don't, but I have to fight. I know my chances of winning this case are very slim, but I'm gonna try anyway. I have nothing to lose at this point. And if I do lose it, I will immediately appeal to the state Supreme Court, which will be my last fight. In the meantime, like I said, I don't want to go this far, but I think the big thing is, I don't think y'all want this exposure either, that it would cause between the Virginia Pilot, Daily Advance, social media, Channel 3, Channel 10 on your side has already been contacted. And one thing about this is, if y'all do allow it to go this far, one thing that would come out of this very great is it'll probably slow down the process of the racial discrimination and racial injustice that's going on in this administration. I want y'all to be aware that this is not I have nothing against the school board. I do have one current school board member who will be subpoenaed if we go this far. I think y'all know who that is. But like I said, I don't want it to go this far, but if it will just affect one person from being discriminated against in the future, this whole thing will be well worth it. I'm gonna leave you with this right here. Don't drop the ball on this, because if you fumble this, at this school,
3 minutes is up, Mr. Summer.
At this school, if you fumble, it usually gets returned the other way for a touchdown. So I hope to hear from somebody before next Thursday. If not, I'll see y'all in court. God bless y'all. I'm sorry you came to this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sawyer. And as Mr. Sawyer was the only one on the list, we'll move now to the consent agenda.
The consent agenda for March 27, 2023.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Mr. Rodney Walton, second by Ms. Angela Cobb. Any discussion? All right, I'm going to call for a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Yes.
Angela Cobb.
Yes.
Tommy Old.
Yes.
Pam Pereza.
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
And Sharon Warden.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to go to the other agenda items, and we'll call on Ms. Rhonda James Davis for a job fair update. Woohoo! Job fair.
Mr. Chair Spence, Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Williams, board members, colleagues, and audience. Wanted to give you an update on our job fair that was held on March 18th. I will apologize in advance because I did all these handy dandies animations with my presentation, but Mr. Jackson Hurd informed me when I got here that this is as good as it's gonna get, so it doesn't have all of my animations. So I do apologize. I wouldn't have made it like that had I known it wasn't gonna be able to animate. So forgive the words of not being able to read it clearly. As you can see, we had our job fair on March the 18th, and it was held at Central Elementary School. It was from 9 to 1 p.m. Okay, so there are some pictures from that day. In the flyer that we used, participants could pre-register. That was for both classified and certified positions. We took an all-hands on deck approach to our job fair on that Saturday. We had 11 rooms set up and used for interviews. We had 11 school administrators represented there. We had our Associate Superintendent of Finance, Ms. Haynes was there. Executive directors, Mr. Liverman from EC and Ms. Collins from Finance. We had our CTE director, our Student Services director, School Nutrition director, Maintenance director, Transportation director, and our Communications directors, Mr. Jackson Hurd. We did not get a chance to take a lot of good pictures because we had so many participants that we ended up having to use Mr. Jackson Hurd, so he didn't get a lot of pictures that day. So a special shout out to our Human Resources team for putting together that day. It went, without any hiccups. I was really proud of the job that they did. So a special shout out to Kim Barcliffe, Kim Respis, Tamika Hinton, Tawana Daniels, Courtney Shore, and Kelly Cowell, who also helped with the interviews as our beginning teachers coordinator. We also had 2 students from River Road to helped greet the applicants who were there to interview that day. And Dr. Parker was there, and he came to show his support as well as to help us recruit some potential staff members to ECPPS. So here's some of the stats from that day. We had 81 scheduled interviews, and those were the people who had pre-registered online prior to the event. 19 of those were no-shows, but we did have 5 to just walk in to be interviewed. So that day we had a total of 67 interviews. 3 of them were virtual. And at this point, you'll be seeing all these nice little animations that you can't see, but just had to throw that in. There were 42 classified applications, and it was 1 bus driver, and no, to answer the question, we did not snag him. He was just coming to interview because he may be moving to the area. But Ms. Hill did interview him and her team. We had 12 people to interview for school nutrition assistance positions. We had 6 substitutes there to interview that day. We had 11 bookkeepers, 10 teacher assistants, and 2 maintenance workers. There were 25 certified applicants, and of those 25, 13 were elementary teachers, 6 were middle school teachers, 6 high school teachers, and in that number, it included 2 exceptional children's teachers. They could be K-12, 2 art teachers that could be anywhere K-12, and 1 counselor we interviewed. So the next steps. Right now, for the positions that are available, the directors or the principals are doing some reference checks, and we're sending in for their background checks. And if all pans out, we'll be recommending those individuals for hire. And then while we're planning for the 2023-2024 school year, we're in the process now of looking at our budget to determine our staffing needs for next year, considering our position allotments that are coming from the state. And we'll also do background and reference check, and then we'll recommend for hire once all that's sorted. Any questions?
I got one question. Did you remind that bus driver that this is a harbor of hospitality?
I sure
That's
will.
why he should come here.
I will make sure that I get Ms. Hill to do that, because she was just as excited to know we did have at least one, but then in interviewing him. So, I mean, it's not he didn't say completely no, but he hadn't moved here yet.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Davis.
Ms. James Davis, so those 67 interviews, those applications are being processed?
Yes. As a matter of fact, those applications, they had to turn in that. Applications had to be complete before we interviewed them.
Fantastic.
And so, so right now, for the positions that we have available now, those directors or principals are looking into their background checks and going through with the hiring process.
So we're close. Thank you.
Well, you will see some of them tonight, actually.
Surprise, surprise.
All right, now we move on to the Finance, Business, and Technology. So we called on Chair, Ms. Sharon Warden, for that.
And I would like to call on Mr. Adrian Fomble and Ms. Nina Griffin, who are going to talk to us about the ECPPS Summer Retest Program. Oh, and Mr. Fudge, your name wasn't on the list.
We're a team. Yes, we're a team, the
I'm
dream
sorry.
team. Well, good evening, Chair Spence, Vice Chair Dr. Williams, distinguished board members, and Superintendent Dr. Parker. Mr. Fonville and Mr. Fudge, who are executive directors of secondary and elementary schools, and myself, we come before you this evening to present information in regards to the 2022-23 Summer Retest Program. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction grants PSUs the opportunity to administer the EOG and EOC tests during summer programs to students who have current test scores for this school year, which would be 2022-2023. The summer retest program is a remedial program designed to provide any student that scored non-proficient on the EOG or EOC a second opportunity to successfully retake the assessments. And we know that non-proficient, back in those days, we used to call them a 1 or a 2. So those are the students who we are going to be inviting to come and have a second opportunity to take this test. The higher score will be included in the proficiency calculations for school accountability. The 22-23 accountability year ends on July the 6th, 2023, and summer programs EOGs and EOC re-administration scores will be uploaded to the annual testing program, and they will be included in this year's accountability. I forgot to tell you to go, but you can go again. All right, so the ECPPS staff will provide 2.5 weeks of content-specific instruction prior to the students retaking the test. This year, we'll be able to offer the third grade students the math. Our third grade students will not take reading during this particular program because they are part of the Read to Achieve legislation, and they will be able to attend the summer reading camp during the month of July. Our 4th through 8th grade students will have the opportunity to do reading and math. 8th grade students who are in North Carolina Math 1 will have a chance to retake Math 1. Our 5th and 8th grade students will be able to do science. And of course, our EOCs, which are biology, English 2, North Carolina Math 1, and North Carolina Math 3. All eligible students will be either in elementary, middle, or high school, so we're opening it up to any of those students who would like to come and participate. A survey, Dexter, I'm going so fast. A survey was sent to any certified staff and classified staff that are interested in teaching during the summer retest program. The survey must be completed by April the 7th. As of today, there are 159 staff members that are interested in working this summer with our students. Principals and school leaders will review the interest surveys and assign staff to teaching positions based on the following criteria: their license and experience, high level of a performance on state assessments, and the ability to work the entire program. The staff that are selected will be notified by April the 14th. The program will be offered at the majority of our ECPPS schools, and it will make a determination of those sites, so will be, of course, determined on our student numbers that participate. Staff that work during the program may be asked to teach at another school other than the one they are currently located at, just depending on the numbers. So we may have to merge some schools together if they don't have larger numbers and whatnot. Transportation, breakfast, and lunch will be offered to any of those students that do participate. Our student hours will be Monday through Thursday from 8:30 until 12:30 p.m. with no operation on Fridays. Social and emotional learning and our strengths-based development process that begins with birth and evolves over a lifespan. It is a process through which children, adolescents, and adults learn skills to support healthy development and relationships. ECPPS will be implementing the use of social and emotional learning daily in our daily lessons for our students that attend this. So it'll be like a 30-minute lesson at the beginning of school where they'll just go ahead and just like open up the floor, and it'll be held in It'll be conducted by our school counselors and their support staff. Parents will be notified of the summer retest program and its purpose, and students who are not proficient on their EOGs and EOCs will be invited to participate in this extended learning opportunity. Students who do not attend any of the summer remediation program must not be permitted to participate in the re-administration opportunities, and that is based on DPI's requirements. Our goal is for all of our ECPPS students to be proficient on their EOGs and EOCs during their first attempt, which we are striving to do. And during this summer retest program, we will provide many of the students with the boost of direct instruction that can promote and increase overall proficiency. This program is extremely important to our students and an opportunity for ECPPS to remove ourselves from the low-performing status. So at this time, if you have any questions for me or my colleagues, please feel free to share them at this time.
I do have a question, and you
Yes.
may have shared this. Transportation,
I'm sorry.
transportation for the
Transportation.
students participating. Did you share that already?
Yes, ma'am. They will.
What did you say?
I'm sorry.
Just repeat that for me if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, so transportation will be provided. We'll have like bus stops in certain areas depending, once we get this information back, because I'll be able to run the information daily, the test scores daily. And so I'll be putting all that together and give it to the schools immediately as it comes in, so we'll know who we can contact. And then we'll go ahead and work with Miss Amanda King and her staff to go ahead and get those routes together. So that probably won't be from house to house, but it will definitely be like maybe a neighborhood bus stop and whatnot. So all students will be provided transportation.
Okay, and I just have one other question. I remember one year, of course it was pre-pandemic, that this was open to a few students that chose not to participate, or their parents chose, did not complete the form for them to participate. And there were, in some schools, I know, extra measures to reach out to these parents to have. So do you have that in line of how you're going to reach out to those parents?
We are going to do
families?
everything in our power to encourage those parents and students. I actually had a phone call today with another parent who has already thought about it, and I kind of encouraged her to say, come on, just let your child just come. Because even those students who were in high school who took the EOCs the first semester, they'll have the opportunity to come back. And we know that it's been a gap between December and now, but that's remediation. We're going to hit those students right where they need it so they can get that extra boost just in case. Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Also, Dr. Williams, along those same lines, we are meeting with principals at each level to encourage them to reach out to those students also, and their parents to really encourage them to participate in summer school. So we have an all effort out to make sure our kids are present and are there this summer if needed.
Thank you.
I had one question as well. I actually had a couple, but you answered one of them already about the 30-minute for the social emotional at the beginning. So my question deals with that. How will the daily lessons in social and emotional learning be tailor-made to match student need and not just be cookie-cutter lessons?
Oh, yes, ma'am. So it'll be, we're going to try to have our counselors like in certain grade levels, and we'll know, like they'll know their students, because we're hoping that we have an abundance of people who are in the support staff area that do apply, so that they can definitely hound in on their students at their schools. So that way, they can work together with their own population and they know their own students and what they need. So hopefully those relationships will be built. However, if we do not, we'll definitely be partnering together, and those counselors and that support staff will travel from school to school together and, and just get to know what those children need. So it's all about building those relationships. And even though it's a short amount of time that we are going to be doing this program, we're going to do our best to give them what they need.
Will there be any curriculum basis at all for this daily lessons in social and emotional, or will it just be more exchange of conversation between?
There is a program that they do have. We use, our counselors here use the Second Step program. So they'll be basing some of those lessons off that. And like I said, they'll also be getting to know those students as well and try to formulate it so that it matches them.
Isn't Second Step what some schools use for character ed? Second Step, don't some schools use that for character ed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And one example I could share that might help too, Ms. Cobb, is one focus of this is to help promote resiliency in the students, because these students have already previously been unsuccessful. And so we want to encourage them. We want to use these as opportunities to help them stay motivated in the program, but also build resiliency to press through and be successful in the test. So one example of a strategy could be the counselors could open up with the teachers and begin the day with a morning circle. So that's an SEL strategy, and that's just a simple, let's sit around. Okay, yesterday we went through the remediation. Some of y'all saw growth, some of you are still working. What's your goals for today? Let's talk about that. In addition, there's some team building. Some students may be in a summer retest program with students they weren't in class with in the school year. So we want to give some opportunities to have some team building, and so that'll be some of what that work looks like. Counselors are providing, along with our teachers, framework lessons. So in other words, we've scripted out the day, so we know that from 8:30 to 12:30, kids just can't sit in one place. That's too long. It's going to be June. We got to do something engaging. So we've given a structure and a framework, but there's some flexibility in there where if teachers got there and said, well, we really need to adjust, then they got the flexibility to use, common sense practices on the moment to make that work. So that would be one thing I'd say about the social emotional component is geared toward develop some resiliency and some commitment to the work with the kids. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. The counselors are designing, that right now. And again, it's just a simple, example would be a list of strategies and things that teachers could use. Example is that morning circle. And so I think sometimes there's a lot of questions around social emotional. I think at the heart of what we're doing with it is just simple team building. I think that would be another way to think about it. It's not, a structured type of curriculum necessarily. It's counselors trying to design those moments where the students press through, they build team connections with their team, and they stay focused on the work. But we're glad to share all of those. It'll be available to the board if they want to see it.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting a good feeling about staff interest
Yes,
in?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
We
good.
definitely are getting a good feeling about staff, and you all have had meetings. Yes, sir.
We met 2 weeks ago with a group of 3rd, 4th, 5th grade teachers, 6th through 12th grade teachers, and we just simply asked a question, how many of you would be interested in doing summer school? And the feedback was tremendous. So there's a strong interest there.
And we do have some teachers still interested in volunteering, so I'm going to be hitting their doors too.
And I want to apologize to you, Mr. Fudge. Your name was on this list. I just missed it. So,
And Sammy, would you mind just sharing briefly some of the work that you all have been doing with the teachers with the lesson plans and the assessment work? If you just summarize that a little briefly.
Yeah, I'll start and let Mr. Fonville jump in also. We met 2 weeks ago with a group of lead teachers at both elementary, grades 3 through 5, ELA and math. And one of the things that we're doing is we're having this group of teachers on their time to break out and by grade levels and write our lesson plans based on their school data, but also using the test specs, which give us the weighting of the categories where most of our kids have struggled or our schools have struggled. We're using that piece to kind of drive our instruction and design of our lesson plans for the teachers for summer school. On top of that piece, we're also using our instructional coaches and working with Dr. Chris Garys to write a bank of assessments so that our teachers have quick assessment during the summer that he can give our kids over particular skills to just as a quick check-in to make sure our kids are progressing along the lines that we want them to progress. And that piece has been exciting work. Dr. Garys has been working with us since January, but this piece has proven very critical for us, and our instructional coaches have really grasped this concept. And he's back with us on the 19th to do additional work as we write these assessments. So we're putting in a lot of work on our end to make sure those things are in place for summer school before summer school gets here. So we want to be all ready on day one to make sure our teachers are ready to go, our kids are ready to go, and there's no holes or gaps in the process. I'll let Mr. Fonville talk about the secondary piece.
So the teachers are working in groups, so they're working collaboratively, not just face-to-face, but they're communicating through Google Drive, Google Docs, and they're communicating like that and building lesson plans. But also, we're meeting every Wednesday. We won't meet this Wednesday because we're going to be traveling, but we're going to meet next Wednesday to check in on the webs, on the work that they've done already to make sure it's valid. And like Mr. Fudge said, the assessments are valid and make sure they have the depth of knowledge that we need. So everything is checks and balances. It's not going to be just something thrown together. And so they are working collaboratively. And those lesson plans will be in the bank to where they can be used for the next school year on and on. So it's not just a one-stop, and the work ends.
One of the things I think is going to be helpful about that part is we're likely going to have teachers that are teaching in a school or grade level they didn't teach at through the school year. And so what we want to say to all our teachers that work in the summer program is we're going to have resources and support for you on day one. So you won't be having, because we've built into the schedule on June 5th will be a teacher work day for anybody that is teaching in the program. Students will report officially on June 6th. And so one day is not a lot of time to plan for summer school. So teachers will be walking into this program already with a host of resources that they can customize and tailor, because we want to give them that. We know they got to have that flexibility, but there'll be a lot of supports to those teachers on day one. And for some of the educators in the room that have worked a summer school program before, when you begin day one, before you know it, you've hit the end of the program. You know, it moves so quick, and so we want to make sure we utilize these days very effectively. So I also want to say thank you to Sammy and Adrian and Nina and the rest of our curriculum team and our teachers that have put a lot of work so far into this. This is a extremely large logistical operation. We're running a retest program available at every school and every tested grade level. And by the time we get to June 6th, there will be a lot of planning that is taking place and will have taken place to get buses, to get food, to make sure that kids are rostered in classes. Our administrators are going to be supervising and working the programs. And so we're putting a lot of effort and energy into this program because it is a tremendous opportunity for our district to exit low performance status, and also for our students to have a second opportunity to demonstrate that they learned the material. And I think that's important, and that's going to be worth the effort that we're putting into it. So I'm very appreciative to the hard work that the team has put into this so far.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to move on and talk about the early college calendar, and I'm going to ask Dr. Parker to present that.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Warden. Presenting to the board tonight a draft of our proposal for the 23-24 calendar for the early college. You will notice that there are some variations on this from the traditional calendars that we presented to the board last month. Part of that is the early college operates in conjunction with the College of the Albemarle's academic schedule, and so you will notice that we have some flexibility through legislation to be able to start the early college earlier than we would our traditional schools, because they operate as an innovative school through the Innovative School Grant. And you notice that the start date is the 14th of August, which is the start date for the College of the Albemarle. You'll also notice that there are less early release days in this calendar than our traditional schools, and a part of that is because all of our students in the early college also are enrolled in college coursework in addition to their high school coursework. An early release day in the early college can be extremely disruptive to the day, and so our teachers and students have a preference to continue with full days in most cases, and so you'll see that's reflected there throughout the calendar. You also notice that the semester end date takes place before December on the early college calendar, which is a different semester end date than the two traditional schools. Again, that's based on the alignment with the college's schedule, and also the end date of the academic year is earlier than the traditional schools as well. I do want to thank Ms. Lee and Ms. Fife for working on this, along with Ms. Tanya Proctor, and also our teachers at the early college that helped revise the calendar and provide input and feedback into it. So thank you all for your work you put into it, and be glad to take any questions from the board. One other thing I will add, we are presenting to the board one academic calendar for the early college, whereas the traditional schools last month, we presented 2 years. The reason we're just giving you one calendar for early college is because we only have access to 1 year of the academic calendars from the College of the Albemarle. So we don't want to preemptively take the 24-25 to you because we don't have the college's schedule. So the early college operates in a unique set of criteria, but we are excited about the 2 calendar years that we presented for the traditional school. So that's why you just have one this year.
Are there any questions? Okay. At this time, I'd like to move to approve the 2023-2024 calendar for the ECP Early College as
Second.
presented.
Thank you so much. We have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 ECP Early College Calendar by Ms. Sharon Warden and a second by Mr. Rodney Walton. Any discussion? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Yes.
Angela Cobb.
Yes.
Tommy Old.
Yes.
Pam Pereza.
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
And Sharon Warden.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we'd like to call on Ms. Pam Pereza if she will take us into closed session.
Okay. Make a motion for the board to go into closed session as allowed by NC General Statute 143-318.11A6 for purpose of considering one or more personnel matters that are confidential under NC General Statute 115C-320 and as allowed by NC Statute 143-318.11A3 to consult with the board attorney regarding matters protected by the attorney-client privilege and to preserve that privilege.
Thank you so much. The board will resume open session following our close. Thank you.
Second.
We need a second.